She had very good posture, and she laughed at everything Daniel said, and I remember thinking, idly, the way you think things you don't examine, that she seemed to position herself near him often. I filed it and forgot it. That is the thing about the details that are trying to tell you something. They're patient. They will wait. The morning I found the notification, it was 6 weeks before the anniversary party. I stood at that counter until the kettle began to scream. Then I poured the water and made the tea, and when Daniel came out of the bathroom in his work clothes, I handed him his travel mug and said to have a good day. He kissed me on the cheek. I felt absolutely nothing except a cold, organizing clarity that I did not have a name for yet. I want to tell you what I did not do. I did not cry. I did not confront him. I did not call my best friend and fall apart. Every instinct that I had was shaped by 13 years of watching civil litigation proceed, and what I understood in that kitchen, with the tea going cold in my hand, was that you do not show your cards before you have the rest of the deck. I also want to tell you what I did do. I got dressed. I went to work. I sat at my desk and I opened a new folder in my Google Drive and I titled it simply with the date. That folder would grow. It always does. The days after that first notification had a texture I cannot fully describe. Everything looked the same and nothing was. I started paying attention in the way that I suspect investigators pay attention, which is to say, without effect, without agenda, collecting only what was there. Daniel kept his Apple Watch on the charger by the bed every night. He had always done this. I had never had reason to look at it before. Now I understood that I had access to a live feed of information every single morning during his shower, which ran exactly 11 minutes because Daniel was a creature of precise routine, and I began to use those 11 minutes the way I used everything in my professional life, methodically. The messages were deleted from his phone. He was careful about that. But the watch synced notifications in real time before he could manage them, and in those 11 minutes each morning, I was able to photograph what appeared with my own phone before he came out. Stephanie's contact name in his phone was listed as Hank. I noticed this the second morning. Hank. It was so ordinary and so deliberate that I almost laughed, standing there in the gray light of our bedroom with my phone camera aimed at his wristwatch like a woman photographing evidence at a crime scene, which is, I suppose, exactly what I was. Over the following 3 weeks, I documented 41 messages. A hotel in Oshkosh, a Thursday afternoon when he told me he had a client site visit, references to inside jokes I did not know. One message where she wrote that she wished they didn't have to pretend, and he responded with a single word, soon. I photographed that one, and then I put my phone face down on the bed and I sat very still for a moment. Soon. A timeline. Something he was planning. I put it in the folder. I need to tell you about the folder the way it matters. It started as a Google Drive document. Within 2 weeks, it had migrated into a physical accordion folder that I bought at an office supply store and kept in the trunk of my car inside a canvas tote bag under the emergency kit. At work, I had access to case management software and court filing databases, and I began to use what I knew, not dramatically, not recklessly, but with the careful patience of someone who had spent years watching attorneys build arguments the way you build stone walls, one piece fitted against the next. The folder held printed screenshots, each one dated and labeled. It held a timeline I drafted myself in the style of the litigation chronologies I produced at work. It held a note I had written to myself at the top of the first page that said only, "Stay composed."